Okay, so we're going to learn how to make a special kind of octahedron. That's 8-sided shape today. And we're going to do so with these triangular antiprisms. Now there's a whole video on how to make those, but I'll show it again real fast. The easiest way to make it is to put the three of your hypertiles into a triangle with all the vertices pointing outward like that. And then we're going to put the other tiles in between here with their vertices pointing outward. So like this, not like that. Okay? And in an earlier video I showed this being made with rainbow pattern around it, kind of a Roy G. Biv. But for this one I decided we're going to have each triangular antiprism be its own color. A little bit easier to see what's going on in terms of the final octahedral shape with its 8 faces. Okay, whoops, and put that one together there. And by the way, if these are coming apart on you, always a possible solution is, instead of adding just one connector, put 2 on there. Okay, kind of like door hinges. There's usually not just one, but at least 2. 3. Okay, but that works for now. So I have a total of 8 of these triangular antiprisms, and the reason that's very convenient is because an octahedron is made up of 8 triangular faces. So we'll have the green one be the base, doesn't really matter, and we're going to connect. I probably should have put that other connector there first, but that's okay. There we go. It's best if they're in the middle, but they really don't have to be. Okay, we'll take and put the white one over here. Okay, and let's see. Let's put, I'm going to try to go opposites. So we're going to put, what do we have this on opposite? Blue. Blue over here. Okay. There we go. So there we are, half done with this. When I say opposite, if you looked at a color wheel, opposite of blue, okay, would be orange, because blue is a primary color. Red and yellow are the 2 other primary colors that together make up orange. So blue and orange are opposite each other on the color wheel. It doesn't have to be this. I'm just trying to have nice contrast across the way. You can have the colors be however you like. You can make this whole thing out of one color if you have enough of those tiles. So now we're going to assemble this. Trying not to break the other connections as I do so. That's always a little tricky, but that's part of the skill in making these, is just to try to build them, make connections without breaking too many other ones. So that's orange. Opposite yellow on the color wheel is purple, violet. So we'll put the connectors here. Okay. This thing kind of builds itself once you start thinking about it. That just, and it certainly helps to have made these shapes ahead of time. Okay. There we go. And like all the structures, it's maybe tricky to make, but once you get that final one in, that adds to the stability. Opposite of white, well, would be black. They're not really on the color wheel, but another beautiful thing about this is the deluxe hypertile set comes with 48 tiles, 6 of each. So guess what you have here? You have a shape, this one in particular, that utilizes all 48 tiles with just the right colors. Other shapes I've shown with 48 tiles might have just a combination of red, blue, and yellow. Well, that would require them more than one set to purchase of the rainbow, because to get that number of those colors. But this one is just what comes in a deluxe set right here, and you all probably see what's happening here on this last one. I'm going to put these last connectors all facing upward just so it'll be easier to add this last one. And opposite green is red. Okay. Essentially opposites are things that would add together to give brown or whatever. There we go. So as I finish this up, you'll start to see that octahedral shape. Whoop, I just did what I warned about. Broke a connection as I tried to add that. Always best to try to hold the two tiles you're connecting if you can. Sometimes there's not a whole lot of room in there to do so, but that way if you're holding both of the ones you're connecting, you're not adding stress elsewhere on the structure. Did I get them all? I did. Okay, so here it is. Kind of fun. It's an octahedron, to be sure. You can see that trapped inside of here, like and the edges are all nice straight lines. An octahedron that's been wrapped in some kind of a fabric and then stretched out of these other 8 triangles. But if we look at just those, and that's what we've been doing with a lot of our shapes, is just looking at the external vertices, look at what you get, and this is just about complete. These are almost touching. You have square faces and triangular faces, and that actually gives a whole other, it's an Archimedean solid. The octahedron is a Platonic solid, but this is one with just square and triangular faces, and this is called a cube octahedron. Okay, so whether I fit this into the category of octahedron or cube octahedron, either one is appropriate for this. The other thing that's kind of interesting is this could potentially be used then to continue building, because on each one of these I could then put here's another one, and start building another cube octahedron and see where that would go. Okay, we can see how these faces would all like that. So the cube octahedron and the potential for an entire three-dimensional matrix with these with embedded octahedra. Okay.